This tutorial will help you to complete the questions on homework number 10. Let's take a look at the first topic, solving two-step equations. Remember, the goal of solving a two-step equation is to isolate the variable using inverse operations. You'll notice we have a number, a variable term, and a number. And when you look at each side of the equation, you cannot have variable terms and number terms on the same side. This side has number terms, so we want all of the number terms to come over to that side. And we're going to do that by using inverse operations. This says to add 7. The inverse is to subtract 7. Now let's be fair and write it on both sides of the equation. Right? This separates the two sides. So I'm writing subtract 7 on both the left and the right side because it makes a 0 here. Use your calculator if you need to. 61 minus 7 is 54. Bring down your variable term. Now notice I did the opposite operation here. The opposite of adding was subtracting. Now you can't see it, but there's an invisible multiplication sign here. And the opposite of multiply is divide. We divide by the exact coefficient that we want to get rid of, because this becomes an invisible 1. So 1c is equal to negative 6. And that is the solution. We'll type that here and try another one. Again, separate your sides. Notice which term needs to come over. So I want the numbers to be on the same side. So I'm going to do the opposite of minus or negative 47, which is plus 47 on both sides. Now the reason I did that inverse is because additive inverse add to 0, leaving us with just negative 12b on the right. Pick up your calculator and type this math if you need to. Notice the top number says negative 11. So use your negative sign, and then because this says plus 47, I'll type plus 47. Now remember, the opposite of invisible multiplication is division. Divide exactly by this coefficient. So divide exactly by negative 12, leaving your b alone. 36 divided by negative 12 is negative 3. Let's type that in here. And that is how you solve two-step equations. Let's take a look at the next topic. Two-step equations with decimals. Good thing we have our calculator handy. Again, we're going to use the same process. Separate your sides, look for constant terms, variable terms, and constant terms. These two cannot be on the same side. Since this side has one item and it's a number, we want this constant term to come to the other side. We do that by using inverse operations. The opposite of negative 0.9 or subtracting 0.9 is adding 0.9 to both sides. We do that because it makes 0. Rewrite the problem. Pick up your calculator. Negative 13.77, and this says plus 0.9. Negative 12.87. Now the opposite of multiply is divide. Divide exactly by this coefficient. Pick up your calculator to compute the math. 12.87 divided by, oops, that should be a negative 12.87 divided by negative 3.3. 3.9 is my solution. Y is equal to positive 3.9. Let's do one more. Use your calculator. Remember, you're using inverse operations to solve. Be sure you're being fair on both sides of the equal sign. Don't accidentally write twice on the same side. That is incorrect. So this one is the number term. This one is the variable term. This one is also a constant or number term. So this is the item we want to move to the other side. We do that by using an inverse operation. Cross off your inverses, rewrite the left side, and pick up your calculator. 2.82 minus 3.4 is negative 0.58. Divide both sides by the coefficient and pick up your calculator. Negative 0.58 divided by 2.9. Oops, I'll try that again. Negative 0.58. Oh, I'm typing. Oops, sorry. Let me clear this. Negative, I was typing the subtraction sign by accident. 0.58 divided by 2.9. We get negative 0.2. So y is negative 0.2. Let's type that in. All right, let's go back here and try the third topic, finding angles in transversal problems. Now don't forget, when you have parallel lines and a transversal, you create 8 different angles. All of the acute angles are equal to each other, and all of the obtuse angles are equal to each other. And obtuse and acute angles, when together, make supplementary or 180-degree angles. So let's take a look and see what we've got here. It looks like we have an acute interior angle and an alternate interior angle, which is also acute. Therefore, they are equal. So I know that this can be written as an algebraic equation. One angle is equal to the other angle. There's no math to do. We've already solved it. X is equal to 17. So type that in your answer box. I know that because they're equal. Let's do this again. This is an interior angle here, and it's obtuse. This is also an interior angle here, but it's not alternating, and it's acute. These are what's known as same side, inside, supplementary angles. Same side, inside, supplementary. So that means that 159 plus x is equal to 180. Use your inverse operations that we just practiced in the last lesson. Use your calculator if you need to. 21 degrees. Type it here in the box. Let's try this one more time. Take a look at your angles. Mark them up. Acute, interior. Alternating, acute. So we have alternate interior angles. And alternate interior angles are equal. So that means my algebra sentence will be x is equal to 49. And there's no math to do. X is equal to 49. Let's try the next lesson. Vertical, adjacent, and complementary angles. So we need to decide whether they are vertical, equal, adjacent, supplementary, or adjacent, complementary. So when I mark these angles here, I get acute and obtuse. I have one of each, and they both make this straight line. So therefore, if I add them together, they would make that 180-degree angle. Use your inverse operations to solve. Use your calculator to assist. Type your answer in the box. Let's try this one more time. Looks like they want to know the measure of two angles. So I'm given this obtuse angle, which is vertical to this obtuse angle because they touch at the vertex. So these two vertical angles are equal. So C is also equal to 123 degrees. But angle B, which is acute and adjacent, makes a supplementary angle. So B plus 123 equals 180 degrees. Use your inverse operations and your calculator to assist. Type your answer here in this box. All right, let's try the next lesson. Level 2, same topic. So there's two lines here, but they're not parallel. They are askew. So that means there are no corresponding, there are no alternate interior, there are no alternate exteriors. They are four separate angles. So this is a group of four. And all we know about this group of four is that these two items are vertical or equal, and these two items make a linear pair or supplementary. So I'm going to say very quickly that G is equal to 127 because they're vertical, and that H plus 127 is equal to 180. Use your calculator to assist. H is 53, G is 127. H is 53, G is 127. Now let's look at this lower pair of angles. Again, 98 is vertical to K, so therefore they're equal. So K is also 98. But M and 98 are a linear pair, or supplementary. Use your inverse operations to isolate your variable. Now we've got our last measure. Submit your answer and check your work. Excellent. Last one for this topic. Again, these are not parallel lines, so we have to look at them separately. These angles are vertical, so they're equal. These angles are vertical, so they're equal. So G is 93 and K is 122 because they're vertical. Letter H and 93 make a supplementary pair. Subtract 93 from both sides. H is 87. Sorry, my marker looks a little funky. M and 122 are also supplementary. Use your inverse operations. This marker is terrible. And use your calculator if you need to. 58. So H is 87 and M is 58. Submit your answer. Okay, last topic. We're going to do these same angles, but with algebraic expressions in both here. Okay? Mark up your obtuse angle and your acute angle, and notice they make a straight line pair. So that means 5z plus 120 equals 180. Use your two-step inverse operations here. Subtract 120 from both sides. 5z is equal to 60 degrees. Divide both sides by 5. Use your calculator if you need to. Z is equal to 12. Sorry. Z is equal to 12. Now, let's type that here. One more question. Ah, I see a special box right here. And that means that my two angles are going to add up to 90 this time. That hasn't happened yet. So 50 plus 8a equals 90. Subtract 50 from both sides, and 8a is equal to 40. Divide both sides by 8, and a is equal to 5. Using your two-step inverse operations, whoops, what happened? I typed the wrong number by accident. I said a is equal to 5. You know what I'm doing. All right, one more time. Ooh, check this out. There's a lot of angles here. So we kind of have elevated here to the next level, but I know what this box means. This box means that that's 90 degrees. So I need to fill that in. I need to fill that. So let me write that here, that this is 90 degrees. But I also have an acute angle here and an acute angle here, but that doesn't mean they're equal because there's no parallel lines, so I don't know anything about them. But I do know that all three of these, when I trace their size, all three of these make that linear pair. So all three of these items, when added together, would make 180 degrees. So that's the algebra sentence I want to write. Angle 1, 3s minus 2, plus angle 2, which is 90 degrees. I know that because of the box. Plus angle 3, all of those add up to 180 degrees. Now we talked about this in class. You can't have more than two terms, so we have a variable term, a number term, a number term, a variable term, another number term. So we want to simplify this or shrink this down. So I'm going to combine the terms that are alike. So these are my two variable terms. And these three, 1, 2, 3, are my constant terms. So let's do my variable terms first. 3s, and this says plus 4s. 3s plus 4s makes 7s. Now be careful here. I have a minus 2, a plus 90, and a minus 6. So I'm going to get my calculator out. I have a minus 2, negative 2, a plus 90, and a minus 6. And I'm going to do those operations that are right in front of them. Negative or minus 2 plus 90 minus 6 is 82. So I'm going to write positive 82 here. Now I'm going to use my inverse operations, subtract 82 from both sides. I'm going to get 7s is equal to 98. Divide both sides by 7, and s is equal to 14. So that's what we're going to type here, 14. Now that was a tricky one because we had three angles. Let's see what the next problem says. Okay, this one's not too bad. I think we can handle this. 78 and 5q plus 2. 78 and 5q plus 2. So let's see. These two make a linear pair. So 78 plus 5q plus 2 equals 180. These two are constants. So we can add them together because it says to add 2. 78 plus 2 is 80. Bring down the 5q, bring down the equals, bring down the 180. Do your inverse operations here. 5q is equal to 100. Inverse operation. Q is equal to 20. All right, that should be enough to get you going. You may need to replay the video more than once, but these are your questions. Good luck.